should just change my channel name to Caroline Marie Rambles. I don't think I have cried so hard while finishing a book and after finishing a book, maybe in my entire life, and I'm not even kidding you. This video is becoming a love letter to Brian Selznick. So I was sharpening my pencil with a blade because I learned this technique in art school. It's just so that it's easier and you get a finer point. Anyway, I'm always so careful when I'm doing it because you have a razor blade in your hand. Of course you have to be careful. But I was going like this, and I didn't catch myself with the blade, but I caught myself with the pencil tip, and now I'm bleeding, and now I have blood on my hands. It's like Lady Macbeth all over again. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into my artwork. I hope you like it. I'm working on my Sylvia Plath author portrait, which I haven't shown you guys yet, and I'm so excited, but now I have to clean blood off my hands. I'm all bandaged up. I've got a band-aid, and I'm good to go. Hello everyone! I haven't actually introduced this reading vlog yet, so I thought it was about time because I've been filming a lot of random different things throughout my week, and I thought it was about time I sit down and chatted with you because I do have a very mini book haul. It's just one book, which you guys already saw me get, and I also have a package from a very special someone named Emma. And I asked her, I said, is it okay if I open it on camera? And she said yes. So I figured I would open it. But I do have a mini book haul. I do have some just like random things to chat to you about. So that's what this little intro is going to be. I'm very eager to open this because I have no idea what it is. We're gonna find out. Okay. Oh, there's a note. Oh, wait, what? I'm confused. She said, I wanted to have a different color background for your gorgeous art, but this one was the only color left in stock. Hope you love it. We match now. Wait, I have no clue what that means. I have no idea. No! 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 Oh my god! Wait a second. No actual way. No way! No way! Oh my god! It's a hoodie with the Dickens versus Tolstoy sketch on it. Oh my god! This is insane. I'm gonna cry. Oh my god! It smells really good. Emma, if this is what you smell like, you smell very good. Oh my god. So I'm assuming that she got herself one too because she said we match. And then on the top of the box is this beautiful postcard. It's a quote from War and Peace by Tolstoy. We don't live on this piece of land for a while. We will live here and we will live eternally there. In everything. Sorry for my literal translation. Oh wow! I'm speaking to Emma, or anyone that watches her videos. Didn't you get this from someone? And then I remember seeing this and I was like, that is the most beautiful illustration I have ever seen. Because it's Tolstoy. Look at that. This is so beautiful. I can't get over this. This is my new favorite hoodie. Oh my god. Emma, we're such nerds and I love it. I am speechless right now. I have never seen anything that I have drawn or painted or anything on clothing before. That is so cool. Alright, I have to go thank her. What the heck? Alright, I'm gonna go put it on and I'll be back. I'm obsessed. Oh my god. I love it. I love it. Oh, it's so cozy. Oh my god. Oh my god. Absolutely biggest thank you to Emma for just being one of my best friends and the co-host to one of the best things that have come out of our friendship, the Dickens versus Tolstoy debate and book club. And thank you so much if you are part of the book club and you have been part of the debates. You guys make it a thing. We wouldn't be able to do it without people watching. It would just be Emma and I talking to each other about books, which is what we normally do, but it's more fun to have people join in with us. So yes, just Emma was one of the first booktube friends that I made, and I just can't imagine my life without her. So Emma, I love you so much. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas. And I don't know what to say. I am like lost for words. I like don't even know how to transition out of this because I'm just like, what the heck? Okay, I will talk to you guys now about the book that I bought. So if you guys watched my last reading vlog, it was a cozy holiday reading vlog. I talk about Brian Selznick, who is one of my favorite book illustrators and writers. He writes and illustrates these beautiful novels, and they're just absolutely gorgeous works of art, and he is one of my absolutely biggest inspirations So this story is written mostly in pictures, but then the other half of it is written in words. So I am in the middle of reading this. I am adoring it, and I've been slightly stalking Brian Selznick on YouTube, just watching every single YouTube video that is, you know, him talking about his process and his books. And he just came out with a new book, and it is Kaleidoscope, and this is his first short story collection. And so this is a collection of short stories, and each short story has an illustration, and then the illustration becomes a kaleidoscopic image. So this is the first image that you get with each story. So you see the kaleidoscopic image first, and then when you turn the page, you get to see what the original image before it was seen through a kaleidoscope originally. So that's what it looks like in the kaleidoscope, and then this is the image that you're looking at through the kaleidoscope. And it's all different stories. I believe he was talking about how he was greatly inspired by his favorite book is Rebecca, or one of his favorite books is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, and Alfred Hitchcock's adaptation. He was talking about the unnamed narrator, and the main character in this book, I believe, is an unnamed narrator, except for the other main character, which is named James. And James, I haven't read this yet, but this is just me hearing what he has talked about this book. James is a lot of different things. I don't really know how to describe it, because the way that he describes it is so like intricate and interesting, and not having read it, I don't really know how to describe it myself. James is different in each story, but James is in each story, and it just sounds fascinating, and I can't wait to read it. You can also see the illustrations on the back cover. They are just absolutely stunning. What he does with graphite is just insane and so inspiring. Can't get over his work. He is just like hands down one of my top favorite illustrators. I love everything that he does, and his writing is so beautiful as well. So he's not only a talented illustrator, but he's also a very talented writer, and I can't wait to read this book. So when I found out that he wrote and illustrated a new book, I had to go out and get it immediately. But I haven't started it yet because I do want to finish the Marvels first. But then when I finish the Marvels, I have finished his major works. I have read The Invention of Hugo Cabret, Wonderstruck, then the Marvels, which are his they're separate stories, but he considers them a trilogy because they're all about like finding family, and they have similar themes that relate to one another, but they don't go really together in one fluid story. They're all different. But yeah, so then I'm finishing his trilogy, and that breaks my heart, but that means I can just reread them over and over again, which is what I plan to do. But I'm absolutely loving this book. The Marvels is originally set in 1779? Nope, 1766. And the whole first story is written or drawn entirely in pictures, and so when you finish looking at all of the pictures, it sort of becomes a memory in your head, and then when you hit the words, it is from, I think, 1990 something, or 1990. 1990 is when the word portion of the book takes place. So, and they connect. They're in the same storyline, except many, many years apart from one another. So when you get to the word section of the book, the drawings sort of become a memory and a dream, and you know what happened because you just watched it happen, but it's sort of how the words relate to what you remember through the drawn story. It's fascinating, and it's really incredible, and we're following our main character, Joseph, and it's him seeking out his uncle who lives in London in this very peculiar house. I forgot, it's a real place in London. I forgot what it was called, but it's this home that is run by this one man, and he creates the home to look like that it's from the past, and when you go in there, it feels like you go back in time. It's like people were there but just stepped out, and that's just so fascinating. And me, who is very nostalgic for the past and really thinks that I was born in the wrong era, I'm going to a place like that sounds like a dream come true, because all I want to do is travel back in time and live in the Victorian period or any past period, because I don't know, I feel like I don't belong in the modern age, but here I am. And so reading about this house, so the house is in this book, it was inspired, it inspired Brian to sort of set the written part of the story in this house and how it relates to the characters in their storyline. It is just brilliant and I'm loving it. So I can't recommend you checking out Brian Selznick's work enough. Just baffling what he does with words and pictures, and that is just exactly what I want to do with words and pictures. So to see someone else doing it so well is just incredibly, incredibly inspiring and admirable. So loving this book. Can't wait to read Kaleidoscope. I am also still reading Dr. Zhivago. I am taking so long with that book, I think because I just have so much going on right now and I'm sort of trying to transition into figuring out how I want to structure my days, especially working from home and being a freelancer. When I was working at the bookstore, when my shift was over and I came home, I didn't think about work because I wasn't there and I was done, and I didn't have to think about selling books when I was in my house. But being a freelance illustrator and creating art and videos and books and writing is my dream. But it's hard to differentiate work from my life, from like relaxing. Well, not really my life because my work is my life, but I think I just have a hard time taking time for myself away from my work and my projects, and especially the way my brain works, it never turns off. I'm always thinking about those things. So I love it and I love being that way. And like I wake up in the middle of the night and the first thing I think about is like how to structure my plot and how I want to draw my characters and all those different things that it's like, just go back to sleep. But that's, you know, that's just me. I've been doing a lot of illustration, as you guys have seen in this video. I'm doing a series, which I haven't announced yet, so I'm announcing it here first. I'm doing a series of illustrations and they are literary characters as their animal counterparts. And I wanted to sort of have a pun as well, like a spoken pun or written pun. Of course I had to do Levin and Kitty. So the skating scene from Anna Karenina, as you can tell, Kitty is a cat, is a kitten, and Levin reminds me so much of a Cocker Spaniel, especially because I have Willow, who is a mix of a Cavalier and a Cocker Spaniel. They're holding hands while skating, and I had this image in my head of them like this, and I've just had so much fun doing this. I have an idea for Elizabeth and Darcy, so if you have any fictional characters from classic literature that you want me to turn into animals, into their animal counterparts in a scene from the book, then I will be more than happy to get your suggestions and do them. I don't know how frequently I'll be doing these. These are mainly to sort of build up my portfolio without giving away my own projects, because something that I'm having a hard time with is, like, I'm creating artwork, but I don't want to show it yet, either for copyright issues or also because it's for my story and I don't want to share that yet because it could change, it's not finished, I'm not like 100% confident in it yet, whatever the case may be. So I wanted to do side projects that help me build my portfolio so that people can see what I'm capable of artistically without giving away my stories, my plots, and sort of, you know, copyright issues, I guess. So that's why I want to come up with different series that I can do, not only like my on-the-page author portraits, but also showing you, or showing the world my love for anthropomorphic animals. This is my portfolio of all of my author portraits. So here is Jane Austen. We have Pushkin, so if you flip through all of them, they're all in there. I got a message yesterday on my Instagram. She asked me, what do I do with my author portraits once I finish drawing them? And I just keep them in a portfolio for myself. I have been thinking about selling some original artwork on my Etsy, but I don't know how people would feel about that, so I want to ask you guys right now how you would feel about that. And they would be more expensive because they are originals, and they would just be like a one-shot deal, like there's only one original, obviously. So would you be interested in that? Would you be interested in author portraits or other illustrations that I do, originals? yes, let me know. What do you want from me? And I will gladly provide you with it. You supporting my work and my art and my videos lets me be able to follow my dreams and follow my passions, so I can't express enough how much you all mean to me, because without you I wouldn't be able to do this, and just thinking about that makes me really emotional, so thank you so much. You have seen, oh, you can see her already, so I did Mary Shelley, which you guys haven't seen yet, and then you did see that I also did Sylvia Plath, which I really am so happy with how both of these came out. So they are now in the portfolio. I have put them on the page already, so I will show you guys what they look like finished on the page. I'm so incredibly happy with how they came out. I always find it so much fun to research about their manuscripts and learn a bit more about them as people, because I think my main goal for my writing and what I want to do with illustrations is honor the authors that have affected us as readers and have made us the readers that we are today and made us the people that we are today. And also demystify the fact that they weren't just these like beacons of, you know, genius. I mean, they were, but I think sometimes I forget that they were real people, and it sort of humanizes them to see their portraits with their words. And that's what I love about doing this on the page series that I've done, is being able to see that they were real people and that they, you know, hand wrote these beautiful stories, and they put so much of themselves in their work, so their words are just as much of them as they are, like they are their words. So doing that combination of words and or author and words, I'm really passionate about that. So I'm, you know, and the fact that you guys buy my author portraits just is a dream come true. And seeing all of your photos and your reviews on Etsy and your comments and everything that you say, your positivity, just means the entire world to me, and I will never be able to express that fully. Sorry for the long ramble, just, you know, I should just change my channel name to Carolyn Marie Rambles instead of Carolyn Marie Reads, because that's more accurate. I do much more rambling than reading. Anyway, I think that's all that I have to say for now. Emma, again, I love this. I can't stop looking at it. I'm obsessed. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is it.
Okay.
Oh my god! Woohoo!
Wow.
I got it. Wow, look at that point. Hello everyone, it is now the next day. Today is December 18th. I have so much to say. When do I not have a lot of things to say? I don't even know how to even begin talking about this. I finished reading The Marvels by Brian Selznick. I don't think I have cried so hard while finishing a book and after finishing a book, maybe in my entire life, and I'm not even kidding you. I was going to film myself, because sometimes I film myself reading the ends of books because I like capturing my reaction. I couldn't. I was crying so hard. And there are so many books that I read, you know, I get a few tears in my eyes, or like I get a little emotional where I feel like tears are forming but they're not really there. And I consider that like crying at a book, because it's getting you to the point where you're like almost in tears. I wasn't almost in tears. No. I was sobbing. I took pictures. I'm not sharing them. They're for myself. They're to remember how I felt. I can't even begin to tell you how important this book is to me, and I just finished it. How can a book be so important to someone so quickly? And it's because this importance began when I was maybe 9 years old, when I first discovered Hugo in the library. I was talking about this a little bit in my last reading vlog, because I was talking a bit about Brian Selznick in that video too, and I think this video is becoming a love letter to Brian Selznick, as it should, because he just deserves all the love and he's so incredibly talented. Why I was so taken by this book, why it was so affecting, why I was just sobbing my eyes out after finishing it, was the way that it's told, the story itself, and it felt like Brian Selznick wrote Hugo, Wonderstruck, and the Marvels, especially Hugo and the Marvels, for me. I know that he wrote other books for other people. I know he didn't just have me in mind, because he doesn't know I exist, but it felt like Brian Selznick looked into my heart and into my soul and said, oh, I'm gonna write a book, or 2 books, Wonderstruck as well, but specifically I have such an emotional attachment to Hugo and the Marvels now, and I do with Wonderstruck as well, but anyway, and I'm going to put all of that into books, just for her, just for me. Oh, how kind of him. How nice of him to write this book for me and to illustrate this book for me. The way that he weaves the words, the pictures and then the words, and then, I don't want to spoil anything, but like the ending of this book I think is one of the best endings I've ever read in my entire life, because I love happy endings. Who doesn't love a happy ending? But I also adore tragic endings, because I feel like, 1, they're realistic, 2, they're more affecting and they last longer in your memory. I feel like I remember unhappy endings so much more, and they stick with me so much more and affect me so much more than happy endings. And this ending was everything I could have wanted in a book. And I think because I have done some major stalking of Brian Selznick on YouTube, watching so many videos of him speaking, because he is just a wealth of knowledge, and I could just listen to him talk all day long about his process, about his inspirations, about how he came to write and illustrate these books. And he is the reason why I got this specific pencil, but I will get to that in a minute. I'm so inspired by him, and he's from when I was 9 years old, I'm 23 now. He has just been like one of my top 3 favorite illustrators. I think this book, he is like number 1 in my mind right now. It's just mind-blowing, and I just, please read it. That's why I'm talking about it to you guys, because as an illustrator, like, this is exactly what I want to do with words and pictures, and to see someone else doing it and doing it so well and discussing themes and a storyline that is so close to my heart, it just feels like it was meant for me. This is my entire passion since I was a child. Like, ever since I was born, I was drawing. Ever since I was born, I was making stories. Ever since I could remember, that has been who I am and who I want to be. And to see Brian Selznick from when I was 9 and discovered Hugo Cabret at the library, and realizing that words aren't these scary, daunting things. Because if you don't know, I spoke about this in my last video, that I was not reading up to my grade level when I was younger, and I was really threatened by words and by stories, written stories, because they were quite daunting for me, because I had a hard time visualizing. And then I found the Invention of Hugo Cabret, and it completely changed everything in my life, and I thought, oh my god, that's what I want to do. And you can combine words and pictures, and it can be more than just, these squiggly marks on a page that when I read them, I have a hard time understanding what they're trying to say. And now, obviously, it's so funny because I've come, to the polar opposite end of that, where, like, my biggest passion is writing and storytelling and illustrating. But it's because of Brian Selznick, and so that's why this means so much to me. I finished this. 5 stars, 5 billion stars, one of the best books I've ever read in my lifetime. it's so much more than a book. It's a cinematic experience. It's like watching theater. It's like watching a stop motion movie. It's like watching so many things while reading, while experiencing a whole world and going through time and experiencing love, loss, family, friendship, and I can't speak more highly about it. And then obviously you guys saw that I did get Kaleidoscope, which is his new short story collection. And I am picking this up immediately because I need more Brian Selznick in my life. The fact that I just have this and that's all that I have left from him is quite devastating, but he is making more books, thank God. Because I just need everything that he creates in my life. So many of his themes in his books are just exactly what I'm interested in. And he did, I'm gonna get it because you have to see it. So he also created Live Oak with Moss, which is a book about Walt Whitman's poems. They're presented in this book in a way that they were never seen before because they were in Leaves of Grass. They're about homosexuality and his relationship with other men. They were in Leaves of Grass in his original poems, but they were cut up and misplaced, and they weren't presented in the original way that he intended them to be written and read. And Brian Selznick, created and illustrated this beautiful book. I didn't know it existed. I actually got it from a viewer who sent it to my P.O. box, which is so nice. Yeah, I still have her note in here from Amelia. Amelia, thank you so much. And she didn't know that I was such a big Brian Selznick fan. And so the fact that, oh my God, look at that. Are you kidding me? So yes, oh my gosh, just everything about this. When I look at Brian Selznick's work, I think, this is how I see things. This is it just feels like I don't know. I don't even know how to express how I feel. But anyway, so I was watching this video that I also mentioned in my last video where I was talking about Brian Selznick, and it's called Struck with Wonder. Where he did a talk about his whole process and all of his books and what he's working on, what he's been working on. There was a video of him working on the book covers for the Scholastic 20th anniversary Harry Potters. He did the book covers for them. There was a video of him working, and his pencil was in the shot, and I was like, oh my God, I need to know what kind of materials he uses. I need to know what kind of pencil he uses, because maybe if I have this pencil, I'll be able to pursue my dreams and create art as amazing as Brian Selznick's. Anyway, I was trying to figure out what pencil it was, and then at the end he answers a bunch of people's questions in the audience, and one person asked what pencil he used in that one clip, and I was like, thank you for asking that question. And Brian Selznick, that it is the Staedtler Mars Technico pencils, and that is, I asked for it for Christmas, and then I finished Wonderstruck, and I was like, raving about it to my parents, and I said to them, because I asked them for the pencils, I knew they got me the pencils. I was like, can I have the pencils early? I can't wait a week. I want to just use them and try them out. And so this is the same exact pencil that Brian Selznick uses to create his amazing works of art, and we'll see what Carolyn Marie creates with them. So it is a regular 2mm lead, but instead of the wood, you just have the lead as kind of like a mechanical pencil. Staedtler makes my favorite pencils, so those are what they look like. I'm so excited. I'm such a nerd. Nerd for pencils, I'm a nerd for books, I'm a nerd for, art and books is just my existence. But yes, this is what the leads look like. I'm gonna use this sharpener, which I also got. So you put the lead in here and you swirl it, and that's how it sharpens the lead. I'm so excited. I can't believe Wonderstruck. I can't believe I cried that hard. I kid you not, I am not exaggerating. I was just sobbing. I don't think I've ever cried like that after and while reading the end of a book in my entire life. And it was amazing. And I would not change anything. So I am going to be drawing a lot today. I have a whole idea for developing my portfolio. The story that I have been working on is honestly changing a lot, and what I thought it was going to be when I filmed that first video talking about me writing a book and talking about like figuring out what I want to do after graduation, it has really sort of turned into other things. And I think the story idea that I was talking about with the anthropomorphic animals is, I think, going to work better as a picture book series, and then the one that I have in mind for a novel is going to be set in a particular place that I have in mind. I still have a lot of groundwork to do because I'm taking the themes that I originally had and twisting them a little bit and turning them into something else. And it's still very much in the beginning stages of development. But anyway, what I want to do is work on some illustrations that I can put in my portfolio that show my ability, and I have an idea. So I was talking about that a little bit yesterday, where, you know, copyright issues and trying to create things that I can like put on my portfolio. And I was thinking about, I want to set myself a goal of 10 illustrations, all with different subject matters, so I can show my strengths in my ability to draw certain things. So like a still life, or a type of animal, or a human, or a close-up, or a far away shot, foreground, background, environmental sketches, landscapes, different things that people can look at them and see, oh, okay, she's able to do those different things, and how I'm able to create certain images and certain narrative storytelling. Throughout my entire life, specifically in college, I was a writing minor. So I got my major in illustration, which basically means I specialized in illustration, but I also did a minor specialization in writing. I did so many small writing assignments for different projects throughout my writing classes that I never did anything with. And instead of trying to come up with 10 new stories, I have these stories that I wouldn't be able to do anything with, that I created almost, 3 years ago, up until I just created them my last year of college, when I just graduated this past spring. So I can do something with those stories, and so anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 10 of my favorite stories or little snippets of writing that I've done and create illustrations for them, and then put them on my website to form my portfolio. So when you look at the image on my website or in my portfolio, you'll be able to see the image that I've created, and then when you click on it, you can read the story to accompany it. So it's a way of sharing my ability to create narrative images, but also my ability to write, because I've been thinking about how can I share my writing without sharing my writing, without like giving away what I want to do, my projects that I'm working on, because when you're writing a book, it's a very secretive thing, because there's a lot in development, copyright issues. You want to keep those things to yourself because they're still in development, they're not finished yet, and they're not taken up by a publisher yet. So there are a lot of different issues with that. But I thought these works of writing that I've done that I've not been able to do anything with could be a great way for me to do something with them for my portfolio, so people can see how I write, see how I illustrate, and it can turn into something, because I'm so passionate about these stories that I've written, but I don't see them becoming anything, or at least I do, but I think that they would really serve a great purpose for my portfolio. So anyway, again, Carolina Marie rambles. She's back again with her rambling. But I just love sharing this stuff with you guys, and I hope that you get something out of it, or it brings you comfort or joy, or just basically, please read Brian Selznick. Do yourself a favor and please read Brian Selznick. Yes. But anyway, I'm going to take you guys along on the journey with me. As always, I am going to, today, I think I'm going to work on one of my portfolio pieces. I'm going to figure out which piece I want to do an illustration for, work on the writing, because I want to make the writing perfect and then work on the illustration, because I feel like that's just how I like working. So yes, let's figure out what piece of writing I want to illustrate as my first one. I'm going to use my new pencil. I'm so excited. And yeah, so let's get illustrating. Do you hear that noise? It's my neighbors. I'm so sorry. They're doing construction on their house. I can't do anything about it. Anyway, hello, and today is December 20th. I thought I would close out this reading vlog for now because it's getting quite long. I have rambled long enough. You guys are probably tired of hearing my voice. I am tired of hearing my voice. But I did want to let you guys know, I know you just saw, but last night I started Kaleidoscope by Brian Selznick. I am already in love with this book. It is already so amazing. I'm 60 pages through. I am on the short story that's titled The Spirit Machine, and so far, I usually, with short story collections, they're quite hit or miss for me, usually more misses than hits, because a lot of the time when I read short story collections, I just want more from them, not enough space for me to grow an attachment to the story. That is not the case with these short stories, and it's so wonderful to experience because they feel like they're the perfect length, like they don't feel like they're too short. These are amazing. I've loved every single one of them. The first short story in this book is titled A Trip to the Moon, and I thought that was brilliant because Brian Selznick's The Invention of Hugo Cabret has George Méliès in it, and George Méliès created a movie called A Trip to the Moon, and that was one of the biggest elements in Hugo is this movie, A Trip to the Moon. And when he titled that first short story, A Trip to the Moon, my heart got so happy. So I just loved that. And then they're also amazing, and his illustrations are so beautiful accompanying them, and I love trying to figure out what the kaleidoscopic image is before I actually turn the page and really see what the image actually is. Oh, this is one of my favorites. This short story is titled The Library, but the illustration is one of my very favorites. So I don't want to show you because I want you guys to go out and just read Brian Selznick because he deserves every single reader in the whole world and every single viewer to look at his gorgeous illustrations. How these short stories are structured is we have different short stories that have nothing to do with one another, but there is a reoccurring character in them named James, and the narrator is always in first person, and it's just saying I, and we never know their name. It's like Daphne du Maurier's Rebecca, where we are following a first person narration from a narrator that we don't know their name, but the name of Rebecca is always present and there and prominent and affecting them. And it's the same thing with this book, but slightly different. James and the narrator are different things every single story. These have magical realism aspects, fantasy aspects, would you say science fiction, kind of? There isn't really one genre for this book, and I love that because Brian Selznick's other books are contemporary realism, but all of his books have a very magical quality to them without really stepping over the barrier of actual magic and a magic system. But this has magic, and this has kind of a magic system, or not really, but there are magical elements to it, and I'm loving it so much. So yes, I can't wait to keep reading this. I already know it's going to be a 5-star. Love the illustrations, love the stories. I think it's so brilliant. Oh, another thing that I should say is that the first person narrator is never specified their sex or their race or anything. It's just it's just a narrator. And so the person that's reading the book, the reader themselves, can kind of, it'll affect every single person who reads this book differently because they'll picture a different narrator for each story. So typically, I remember we did this exercise in one of my creative writing classes where we read a really short snippet of a story, and my professor asked us, do you think the narrator is male or female? Did you read the narrator as male or female? And what my class and I didn't realize was that it was never specified, but all of the girls, all of the females in the class, all thought that the narrator was female, and the males, the guys in my class, all thought that the main character was a guy. So it's so interesting to see how the reader affects how they view a narration and how they view characters, and it's so fascinating. So I'm loving this so much, and this concludes my love letter to Brian Selznick. But I am going to be talking about this book in my next reading vlog because I'm not finished with it yet, and I obviously want to tell you guys what I think about it when it's done. But this reading vlog is getting quite long, so I thought I would end it here. Thank you so much for following along on my week with me. I did a lot of illustration, which is wonderful, did a lot of reading, which is great because I feel like I haven't been reading all that much, as much as I normally do. And yeah, I've just been doing my regular freelance work, so thank you so much for being a part of it, supporting me and my artwork and my Etsy shop and my YouTube videos. You all mean the absolute world to me, and I hope you enjoyed this video. It brought you some comfort and joy and coziness and inspiration maybe, hopefully, and some wonderful book recommendations. Ultimately, what this reading vlog is just for you to know about Brian Selznick's amazing work, and hopefully now you're interested in reading his books. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you are having a wonderful, wonderful day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you soon in another video. Happy reading.